Hey team, Happy New Year. Welcome to another episode of the Lifestyle You podcast. It's your host, Lacey Iskra. And on today's episode, I am going to be talking about our body's drainage pathways. And this is something that I've just learned a lot about from my coach that I'm currently working with, Jen, who puts a huge emphasis on our body's drainage pathways and just understanding how to properly drain them out, because especially in today's world where the talk of detoxing is just so common. Everyone's going on a detox, wants to do a detox, a parasite cleanse, whatever it may be. And they don't actually understand that if you do any sort of detox without making sure that your drainage pathways are opened and working properly, that it can be very harmful and dangerous to your health. So I really just wanted to introduce you guys to your drainage pathways, because even with someone who has been working in the health industry for 6+ years, I had really no idea about them. And so I think obviously knowledge is power. The more you know, the better it is. So really just want to take this podcast to help explain what our drainage pathways are in our body, how we can support them and help them drain, and what are some common side effects or symptoms that we might experience if our drainage pathways aren't working properly. So all of our bodies have a built-in system of waste management, and this is known as our drainage system, or more specifically, the drainage pathway. And these drainage pathways help our bodies to take out the trash, essentially, by showing toxins and pathogens the exit from the body. So really, it helps your body get rid of its toxins. And so if you try to do a detox and all the toxins build up, but they don't have anywhere to go, this is when it can become very detrimental to your health. So our drainage pathways are an interconnected network that work like a funnel all over the body. So they're made up of organs, tissues, cells, and the lymphatic system, and they cover the whole body. And they work together so that the whole body can drain the bad stuff out wherever it is in the body. So we do have multiple drainage pathways, and it helps to keep your body balanced. It helps keep it in homeostasis, and it just makes it so your body can do what it's supposed to do. And so, as you can, I'm sure, tell, it is super important that we keep these drainage pathways open, flowing and functioning properly, so that the body can consistently remove waste substances that are not beneficial for our body. And so what really is the problem is that many of us don't actually have proper flowing drainage pathways. And if there is a blockage at any point in the system, everything upstream can't drain properly downstream as it is meant to. And this is when it can get really messy, because if there is a blockage in one of your drainage pathways, or it's just not open properly, then it's basically everything's just going to get blocked up. So you kind of think of it as like your bathtub drain. If the drain is plugged, then everything is not going down the drain, or anything. Yeah, nothing's going down the drain. So you want to open that up and then think about as the bath water being the toxins getting removed from your body, because we are all accustomed to so many toxins in today's environment that it's basically impossible to avoid them. So instead of trying to avoid them, we just want to make sure that we're taking the steps to make sure that they are getting removed from our body in whatever way that we can. So if there is a blockage in the drainage system, the body will try to show toxic substances the exit. Like, isn't that crazy to think about how smart our bodies are? They will literally try to show it the exit. But they won't be able to leave the body if those pathways aren't open, and meaning that they are just going to continue to circle around your body in places that they aren't supposed to be and overload your body in ways that it's not supposed to, which ends up leading to a long list of things, including different chronic diseases. So super, super important. So there are multiple drainage pathways, and we all do have the same ones. And so some of them, I'm going to go over them. I think there's 6. So the skin. The skin is a drainage pathway. It is also our biggest organ, which means that it helps us to drain toxins from the body via sweating. So really a drainage pathway is sweating. If you do not sweat, this is actually often a sign that your drainage pathways aren't working as they should, and it's definitely not something to be proud of. So that is a really common drainage pathway. And just to keep in mind too, because the skin is your biggest organ, it is often the first to show signs that something isn't working properly inside. And that's why a lot of people will suffer, like if you suffer from eczema or acne or psoriasis or different types of random rashes, anything like that, that's a very good sign that something inside of you isn't working properly. So just keep that in mind. Another pathway is the liver. So the liver is responsible for processing what is going on in the blood, and it pulls toxins from it. So these then get transferred into bile, and when these get backed up, it can overflow into the bloodstream, meaning that the toxins are moving around the body in ways that they are just not supposed to. So the liver is a super important one that we really want to make sure that we're supporting in any way that we can. The next drainage pathway is the colon. So this is actually the main drainage pathway, and we predominantly remove waste via our bowel movements. If this drainage system is backed up, it means that the vast majority of toxins are not leaving our body. So it can cause other symptoms along the line. But having regular, frequent bowel movements, I was going to say syndromes, frequent bowel movements it's critical to your health. And if you want to be having at least one per day, but anywhere from 1 to 3 per day. So if you're someone who struggles with constipation in the past, I know we've worked with lots of women who come to us and they say they're only going to the bathroom 1 time a week. This is something that needs your immediate attention, and it's definitely not normal. You should be going to the bathroom at least once per day. So another one is your kidneys, which is a natural filtration system to help remove waste, toxins, and excess water. And last but not least is the actual whole lymphatic system. And this is built up of your lymph nodes and lymph networks that cover basically your entire body. And it helps filter out toxins, viruses, bacteria from the fluid that sits in these tissues all over our bodies. So those are the 6 drainage pathways that you have. So we have the skin, the liver, the colon, the kidneys, and the lymphatic system. So the main drainage pathways are the ones that I just said, but when all of these are together and working and moving efficiently, then the body can work and detox properly as it is meant to. But if any of these were blocked and you did some sort of intense detox, then you're going to end up with a lot of horrible side effects, and it's just not the way that you want to do things. So your body does need to remove these waste products through drainage systems every single day. And if that is not working as it is meant to, then the body will start to show you in symptoms. And there is lots of symptoms of like closed or not properly working drainage pathways. And just some of the common ones that not only did I experience, but lots of our clients experience are, so lack of sweating. Like I said, if you're not sweating, that's not a good thing. You should be able to get a sweat on if you're doing some sort of workout. Low energy, brain fog, low moods. Those are all signs that the toxins aren't being properly removed from your body. Skin conditions, like I mentioned, so psoriasis, eczema, acne, and more is a sign. Stiffness and joint pain. And this is because the toxins are literally backing up into your joints. Constipation, lack of bowel movements, just feeling puffy or having swelling in general is often a sign as well. And then last but not least, which most people don't believe, but it's actually cellulite. So cellulite's not genetic. It's a sign that your toxins aren't getting removed properly, and it can actually be improved by doing dry brushing, which I'm going to go into in a minute on just some things that you can do to support your drainage pathways. So those are the main symptoms, I would say. There are other ones that aren't as common or that are a little bit harder to spot, but if you're experiencing any of these, further supporting your drainage pathways are going to be super, super important. So now the question, how do you open your drainage pathways or support them? So there are lots of ways you can work to open your drainage pathways, and the best thing is it really isn't that expensive. They don't cost a lot of money or even involve taking a ton of supplements. It's stuff that you can basically do for free, most of them. So before I get into like what exactly you can do, just some more general tips to help support your drainage pathways in your lymphatic system is staying hydrated. Not that that's any surprise, but making sure you're drinking enough water for your body and your daily activities. This is key in literally everything. I always say water is the key to life. It just helps keep everything moving, everything flowing. And then on top of that, something that I've really been learning a lot about is just the quality of your water. Making sure that it's filtered in today's world and that you're adding back in some minerals to that. And then another thing that you can do is, like I mentioned, dry brushing your body, and it can help move and power the lymphatic system because unlike the bloodstream, it's not powered by a pump. So what dry brushing is I don't know if you've ever seen those big wooden, I don't know how, it looks like a spoon, but where the spoon part would be, it's like a big brush with a long handle. I'm like, I don't know why I'm struggling to explain this. And it's usually wooden. You can get it at almost any like Shoppers Drug Mart or whatever, and then you literally just brush your body, and there is a certain way to do it. So I highly recommend just Googling it, but you have certain parts in your lymphatic system where it drains out better. So you kind of want to go, like you brush your quads or your thighs, you would brush with a down motion because you have a drainage pathway like behind your knees. So you would brush down there, and then you want to brush like up through your stomach, and then you want to brush like down through your arms, and then you want to brush like down your chest. Honestly, just Google it. There's lots of videos out there, and I'm kind of just butchering this explanation, but dry brushing is something that I've implemented, and I've definitely noticed a difference. So if you can start that, it's really not expensive. You can get the brush for like 10 or 15 bucks. And then you just do it for like 10 or 15 minutes before you go into the shower each day. Infrared saunas also really, really help, and they can help to open up your drainage pathways, as same with just like super hot baths in general. So that will help. And then if you know that one of your drainage pathways is not working as it should be, you can also work on more specific solutions to that one. So say you know your colon pathway isn't working, you're constipated, you haven't been going to the bathroom regularly, then there are things that you can do, which is increase your distilled water intake, increasing your fiber, adding magnesium to your diet, increasing fermented foods in your diet, increasing your exercise, and testing out castor oil packs on your liver, which is something I've also implemented. And I think I talked about this in this podcast episode not long ago. But it's basically just putting like a mat that has a little bit of castor oil on it over your livers and just hanging out with that for a couple hours. It actually really helps. So if you know your lymphatic system is struggling, then like I said, and this would really show up in like if you have a lot of cellulite or like swollen and you just feel puffy, dry brushing, jumping rope, or even getting one of those little trampolines, or if you have a trampoline in your backyard, going on that for a couple minutes each day really helps. And then also just increasing your exercise levels, and then same kind of thing, sauna, Epsom baths, hot water, body work, deep massages, and deep sleep, actually. So that's something that you can do for that. If you know your liver and your bile function is struggling, you can focus on foods that are going to support your liver. So cruciferous vegetables, bitter greens, flax, healthy fats, and then as well as including the castor oil packs. Coffee enemas, which is something that I've also been doing, are really, really good. And then just reducing your alcohol and sugar intake, or supporting with a TUDCA supplement, TUDCA. My liver was something that was not doing so hot just from me growing up being on a lot of antibiotics. My liver has been a huge focus on my healing journey. And so I've basically been doing all of that. I'm taking the TUDCA supplement, reducing my alcohol and sugar intake. I really rarely drink, try to stay away from sugar, doing the coffee enemas, doing the castor oil packs. And it's pretty cool when you can just start to notice yourself feeling better and everything flowing better as well. And then if your cells in your mitochondria are struggling, you get enough sleep, increasing natural sunlight, incorporating healthy stress, which would be like exercise or going into a cold shower or a cold bath, things like that. And I think, I can't remember which one I didn't do now. I think just kidneys. So then if your kidneys are struggling, staying hydrated with high quality water, adding lemon and trace minerals to your water, focusing on kidney supportive foods and herbs, nutrients such as parsley, McMissile, beetroot, marshmallow root, things like that. And if you guys feel like you're struggling with any of this, I know I'm kind of flying through these. Really, I just wanted to introduce and just raise your awareness around it. But if you do feel like you're struggling with one of these in particular, just shoot me a message on Instagram, and I'm more than happy to kind of give you more of a custom game plan to what you should be focusing on. And then if you are really working to overhaul your processes and drainage pathways, you should also look to avoid processed foods, artificial preservatives, sweeteners, a lot of sodium, hydrogenated oils, MSGs, artificial flavors, omega-6 oils, and then as well as gluten, wheat, dairy, sugar, and inorganic meat. So it's a lot, but that's kind of like what my diet is now. So it's a lot of just organic, grass-fed, high quality meat, organic vegetables, and then really just trying to get my carbs from fruit, trying to stay away from starchy carbs. But you don't really need to be doing that unless you're dealing with a symptom that needs it. But yeah, if you are, then it's good to stay away. And then another really popular one that I've been doing is the omega-6 oils, so not including any of that. And a majority of your omega-6 oils do come from seed oils. And seed oils are really like grapeseed, sunflower seed, safflower seed, canola oil, things like that. Those all are oils that you really should try to stay away from, and try to not incorporate them in your diet as much as you can. So just start reading labels. But it's crazy, once you start paying attention, they're literally in everything and they cause a lot of inflammation. So that's it. I hope that wasn't too overwhelming. I really was just like fascinated when I started learning about it, because I just had no idea that our body had these drainage pathways that we needed to support. And I think so many people are just quick to jump into some sort of detox thing that they want to do, whether it's a drink or a diet or whatever. But if your body's not able to remove those toxins, then it's really just a waste of money. And it can actually be very detrimental to your health, because what a detox does is it almost like gets all of the toxins out flowing into your body, and then you're supposed to get rid of them. But if they can't get rid of, then they're just going to stay in your body and they're just going to move around there where they shouldn't be, causing to a lot of health issues. So again, I think it's just kind of cool. Wanted to raise your awareness. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I hope you guys all have a great week. I'll talk to you next week.